And we are live with the third, a Nerd Number 30 Politics with my co-host, Dust Quill. How you doing, Dust Quill?
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the crazy side of the internet.
Uh, where every week we compile the week's, things that have happened within news and politics and mock it.
And
Hilariously.
just like last week, we aren't really short on topics to talk about.
That's always a good week. That's always a good week.
And this time around, it's actually been kept to a minimum of repeat topics to talk about. Surprisingly.
Whoa. We do have a bit of a repeat, but it's more like two different instances. So let's start with come on.
It just keeps coming up every week because, anything else to complain about nowadays.
Well, it's one of those when you have in 1 week 3 instances of, two of Trump supporters pretty much, whether it's verbal or physical, an attack is an attack. And we have 3 instances of where Trump supporters have been, well, quite frankly, attacked.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, it's one of those, like, the best way I can describe it. Let's start with the old Jewish man.
Okay, we're going to start with the Starbucks scene.
Yes. So
because as all things with politics nowadays, it always starts in a Starbucks.
Right. Okay, may I start out by saying, first off, have you seen the picture of this one?
Yes, I have, and she looks like the quintessential stereotype of a feminist condensed into a singular being.
Dude, it's like, look, lady, you're getting close to 50. It's time to lose the mohawk. It's time to lose the mohawk. And it's not like,
God, she's 50.
I think she's in her 40s, man. Like mid to late 40s. I think they said she was like 47. Is the age that she had? Yes, you see my point. And she's rocking a mohawk, fully bicked sides and everything. And it's like, all right, so you already should know better. All right, and it'd be somewhat forgivable if it was a teenager or something.
Okay, I am like an absurdist, borderline nihilist. I live by the abyss and fish in there every other weekend. I have never gotten so close to despair as I've gotten right now with that knowledge.
Yeah. Dude, and what makes it worse, and in a lot of ways, I guess you could say kind of comical. What up, 6 scale? Sorry, I'm trying to get everything set back up. But
not enough beer in this world.
Dude, I'm hoping to, okay, I think I've finally gotten through this whole bit, drinky phase. I'm hoping good, because I'm like, I shouldn't need it tonight. I shouldn't need it.
Here comes reality with the whole hard cold check to the chin.
Oh God, there's not enough booze in the world to make one, take one look at her. All right, and it's like she's getting on this old guy. Now, mind you, I understand she couldn't see the fact that he was a Jew because his yarmulke was under his hat. But
yeah, it was like under the cap.
Mm-hmm. But here's the thing: as I've stated time and again, when it comes to these far left ideologues, it really, they are constantly talking in the most anti-Semitic terms, while at the same time, when they get called, we can't be anti-Semitic. We're the left. Do I need to bring up Ilhan Omar? Rashida Tlaib? Linda Sarsour?
Humble Marty knows what's up.
Yep. What really makes it weird is these incidents belong in a cartoon.
I think this incident sort of really encapsulates what activism and protest and rebellion has really gotten to in this day and age, where everything, just like their own lives, is very superficial and surface level to the point it actually put catfish to shame.
Dude, the way I look at that situation, and the sad thing is we haven't even gotten to the meat of the matter. We're just talking about it from a cursory glance, just looking at the surface. Okay, he was Jew, he was old, she was in her, she was, I wouldn't say.
Didn't she like get fired from her job, whatever that was, because of that whole ordeal? Like, well, what the hell did she even do for a living?
She worked for a music store.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Oh,
when
no.
you screw up so bad, you get fired from a music store that's been open for like 50 years. So, like, this is like the second, maybe at most, the third generation of people that are owning it, because maybe a little bit more. I can't remember the exact year. But when you get fired from a music store, which is known, let's be honest, music stores are fairly liberal. When you get fired... When you get fired from a music store because you fuck up so badly and cause so much of a... I mean, we're talking... She took pictures of him with like, if you see this old man, if you know who this old man is, I want his digits. I want this. I want that.
Yeah. Did you say she was going to, like, actually orchestrate a protest outside of his own house with signs and everything?
Yep. And here's the thing. You always hear about doxing being done by those on the right. You never hear... The minute someone on the left, oh, that's not doxing. They were just using public information. I don't care if it's public information or not, doxing is doxing. If you are going to sit there and put someone's information out there on the net that most people would not know otherwise, it's doxing.
Ugh.
I don't care, like, I don't care what anyone says. That is a... I guess the best way to put it, that is a situation that shouldn't have to be explained. And then after like seeing him in there, she goes back in there hours later and birates him again. Of course, you know.
Because of course she would go back for round 2.
And if you remember right, that Starbucks, her boyfriend worked at, and I think he lost his job too because of his connection to her. So now both of them have lost their job because of her actions.
Okay. I will say, at least he didn't deserve to lose his job. I don't know what his involvement in the whole thing was, like how deep that went, but this is based on what I know so far, it's kind of bullshit that he lost his job. What should have happened was that he should have, cut off that diseased arm while he had the chance.
Right. And it's just like, okay, and which segues into the second thing, and these next two happened both within a day or two of each other. Like that would happen.
I'm actually curious if I actually heard about these next two.
Oh, I think I sent you the links earlier. The one where the video of the obvious like mannish looking lesbian.
Yeah.
And it's funny because if you look at the I got
are we actually going to name the source where we got this video from? Because I remember when that got pulled up into our group chat.
This one is Israel and USA Forever is the link that the actual article I have brought up is using, but I think the one I sent you was someone else, so I couldn't tell you. I just know that I saw that and was like, "Are you freaking kidding me?"
This is the one that I think. This is the one I think you're about to pull up. One of our mutual friends put this up in the group chat for us to show. That's where I saw it.
No.
This is a different one.
I think so. I do think so. That we will get to that. We will get to that. But
okay, so I at least do know one of at least. Let me check the DMs here.
Let's see. I'm going to.
Oh God, everything's so slow. Why Twitter? Why do you betray me?
Because it's Twitter. It always betrayed you. I mean, I'm just saying. But
I should be used to that by now.
But
how many times I've been put into Twitter jail?
Right. All right. So this is the lady.
This is
the lady that was being birated by the mannish-looking lesbian for wearing a Trump hat. Right. May I say if you are like, okay, first off, you can tell she's not white. You can tell. When you hear her speak in the video, you can tell she's of Latin descent. She's like she's Hispanic. Like I'm not gonna say what for sure what country it is because I don't know. I think she said she was Mexican, but I don't want to assume.
It could possibly be Latino.
Yeah, but the whole point being is you have a mannish-looking lesbian, which I'll get to that video. Let me still.
I have to say though, that is some good decal work on the cap there. A lot more quality effort than you would expect from a meme hat. Which, first of all, this could not be a meme hat. Could be a for real Trump 2020 cap design. Right.
See,
it is starting to get it's starting to get close to that time, anyways.
Oh yeah. Well, what do you expect, really? I mean, we have a situation here where
boy, how these 4 years have passed, and how early did I get tired of winning,
dude? It's not even so much a matter of winning at this point.
I'm not even a full-on Trump supporter, and I got tired of winning within the first few months because of.
I'm not even a Trump supporter. I'm not because even a Trump supporter.
Trump detractors.
And that's the thing. Like I got to the point with
Trump detractors the size of tractors.
Right. That all right. So.
Yeah. Like, this is the video I've seen.
Like I don't need the audio. I don't need the audio. But I mean, come on, dude.
I don't really need this.
It's like you can
just we don't even really get the context of this whole thing. We just know we got this mannish Tumblr drawing come to life. Well, that actually puts far more good words on the quality of Tumblr artists to say this Tumblr art come to life. But we don't even get like the context of it. We just see this person in the record just yelling at each other for no discernible reason. And then we just suddenly get very, very physical really quickly.
All I gotta say about this individual is it looks like she looks like she's trying to show up to work on High Guardian Spy Season 2, okay? she looks like the type of person that gets hired by Marvel as, like their latest writer, whatnot, because she's so woke. She looks like she gets offended by men just looking at her, just breathing in her direction. Excuse me, you're breathing my air.
I would imagine she's like in the subway or something, and a guy sneezes, and she starts to complain about how he's trying to infect her with the patriarchy.
Exactly. Like, gets mad. It's like, oh, you support our president. Da, 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 da. Oh, well, yeah, I support our president. I may not have liked Obama, but the biggest problem I had with him was the fact that he was constantly doing shit that was causing problems for everybody and pitting everybody against each other, but I didn't want the man to fail.
I found him more to be a disappointment. He kept trying to promise to be different, but ended up more the same.
Yeah, pretty much. I like this. So we went from old punk to Tumblr Hulk, the Detractor Edition.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
That pretty much sums it up. I mean, and like in the whole video, she's like, I didn't touch you while you seeing her on video constantly trying to manhandle this woman who's
you can't turn people gay, but you can affect people with the patriarchy.
Yep. Yep. Well said, Happy. Well said, Happy.
Yep. He picked up what I was putting down.
And right. And what's funnier about this, just so I can go straight to have just the image showing real quick. Let's talk about why she was really upset. What her real problem is. She's just mad because this chick is prettier than she is. This chick doesn't look like a man. This chick wearing a Trump 2020 hat, got a nice looking body, cute face, and all this, that, and the other. The other lady looks like a mannish tomboy. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'd buy a pen up with that.
I'm sorry. That's the best description I can come with. Is she's just mad. She's like, I don't get I don't get catcalled. I'm so mad. Man, fuck the patriarchy. Wait, I thought y'all didn't want to be catcalled. God, duh. We don't want to be catcalled when it's, when we, or how do I put it? We don't want to be catcalled when we're catcalled, but when we're not being catcalled.
I mean, are we at the point where just smiling and saying hello to a random person down walking towards us down the street is catwalking now?
Yeah, it's like
just can't have the courtesy of saying hi and smiling.
Yeah,
without offending somebody.
Like, how you doing? You know what I mean? Simple manners. No, that's the patriarchy. Tumblr called. They want their poster girl back. I'm just saying. Oh, poster boy. Sorry, I think we may be misgendering her. Poster boy back.
This is my gender.
Right? It's like, come on.
I was catcalled by a bunch of drug addicts who thought I was a girl.
Hey, it happens.
When I was 14 or 15. That sounds pretty rough. Shadows, that sounds pretty rough.
Well, also, by drug addicts, I'm picturing like.
I mean, would you consider that a compliment depending on if they're on or off the sauce? How did that work out?
I don't know how. To me, I'm still like either way. That's kind of insulting. You know what I mean? Kind of insulting.
Yeah.
It's like okay, I can't get the hot chick that I have a crush on at school to look at me twice, but I get catcalled by a bunch of methed out dudes who think I'm a woman.
Yeah, that's pretty much a joke in a sitcom right there.
Yeah, that really is.
That might actually just be a scene ripped out of Sunny in Philadelphia.
Right. Like I don't know. I guess mean no much.
I mean, hey, you always, as Brian always says, always look on the bright side of it.
All right.
Always look on the bright side of life.
All right. So, on to the third part of the Trump derangement syndrome.
Oh no.
The ever giving tree of the Trump stupidity that people do to try to own Trump. Mom says daughter couldn't use President Trump for her hero project. So,
this one.
Like, all right, so this is a great one for me personally because of the fact that it's like excuse me, from what I gathered from it, the kid's 11. She had a project at school where she had to write about who she thought her hero was. Another student chose Obama. She's like, okay, well, I'm going to choose Trump. Well, you can't. And the teacher said she couldn't choose Trump because Trump is such a divisive figure, because Trump said mean things.
He says mean things about women and minorities.
Yeah, and it's like, really?
Wait a minute.
Oh, yes.
We'll get to that in the chat. What is this like just happened?
Basically, in a nutshell, dude lived in, I think, San Francisco. I go, okay, we'll come back to this. We'll touch on
this sounds like politics and Dark Souls going on here.
It pretty much is. So, a TDS dude tried to. Well, we don't know what he did. He said he was going to knock off the old guy's hat, but here's the thing. There's been as many Trump supporters have been literally attacked.
We'll get to it. Let's just take care of the little girl. Let's take care of the little girl.
Little girl first? Okay.
Little girl first. Let's save the good stuff for later.
Oh, no, that's just immediately after. Basically, she was told she couldn't do Trump. She tells her parents. Her parents are pissed. They contact the school.
Of course they would be.
Yeah. Basically, I feel
like the school is like denying this ever happened.
This is a legit quote that the district superintendent said. It is not accurate that the student was told that they were not allowed to conduct research or report on any individual for a school assignment, including President Trump. To the best of our knowledge, by choice, the student is still conducting their project of President Trump. And the parents said, that the superintendent made the comment made it worse. No one should make a child feel that way. You're supposed to protect my child, says her father. And that they brought the issue up at a school board meeting on Wednesday, but the board member said they cannot discuss the matter in a public session, but will look into it. And they said they want an apology from their teacher. And like for me, it's one of those like, okay, first off, you can't have a situation where you're seeing one kid going, I'm going to do research on Obama, and then you tell another kid, well, you can't do research on Trump. He's divisive. What part did you forget that like literally 5 minutes after Obama was sworn into office, if you disagreed with Trump, with Obama, if you even brought up the flaws in the ADA, you were automatically a racist, and you were this, you were that. But Obama was not divisive.
I'm pretty sure Obama really divided those kids from their limbs when he bombed them in Syria.
Well, it's like every time you try to bring up things that Obama did wrong, it's immediately rebutted with, oh, well.
And then also divided even more kids into sex trafficking hands from their families.
Oh, yeah. Because catch and release. Release. And it's funny that I talk about Trump and the separating kids from their family. That started under Obama, and it was meant to try to curb the actually, if you remember, it started actually under Bush as a way to prevent sex trafficking and things like that.
Yeah.
But Obama enforced it. And at what point do we finally get to say Obama was just an asshole because he was deporter-in-chief? He deported more illegals than any president before him.
So, and now, me being me, you know, I can see it in the different ways of how it could have gone down. Like, I can just as easily see this happening the way that it is reported, that the teacher did tell the student that she can't do the report on Trump, and the school is covering up. And at the exact same time, I can see it just also as likely as the parents sort of like
jumping the gun,
something going on to give Trump a bit more legitimacy. But the thing is, that's only when you view the event in its own microcosm. We all know reality does not operate in microcosms. There's always a bigger picture going on. Regardless of what you think, regardless of what you do, regardless of the consequences you brought, there is always a bigger picture in every little detail. And large, well, there's more evidence to suggest that there is indeed a bit of a school cover-up over this issue.
Because I'm just saying, and the only reason why they're like, well, the kid's still doing. He wouldn't have said the kid is still doing the report if it wasn't true. Let's just say that. He would have just said, not true. The parents are overreacting. It doesn't matter. Moving on. They wouldn't have felt compelled to talk about it, but because of the fact that it like you said, it's not in a void, because there has been take for instance the conservative at what was it, Berkeley, I believe, that got punched by the one dude.
Kid. He was like a activist for like free speech on campuses or whatever, and they just got his chin knocked the hell out by.
And like, what makes it? Oh, okay. Sorry, you broke up there.
I was saying, it was like some kind of activist for free speech on college campuses, and then he just got his big ass dude who apparently doesn't like free speech, I guess.
No, he didn't like Trump, pure and simple, and said Trump was racist. Said the guy was racist for trying to. But the whole point being, this stuff has happened on schools before. we know this stuff has happened in school, and we know that the schools will do everything to protect the liberals, either teacher or student. But if you're a conservative student, conservative teacher, they will do everything that they can. And this is from elementary on up. Like, you know what I mean? You see a clear difference way conservative parents have been treated with their kids wearing Trump gear versus how liberal parents have been treated with their kids wearing Obama gear.
Right.
Clear difference. So this whole situation does not surprise me, and I do believe that the school's doing damage control. I do believe that the school's trying to cover for the teacher, and they're kind of like, you shouldn't have said that. Now we're all in a bind because of the fact of this situation. All right, so it very believable. Like I said, and the sad thing is 4 things of Trump derangement thing, because now we're moving on to that. Show your channel. Y'all should go check out 6-Scale Combat right here on the YouTube. Also, I think that's also his YouTube or his Twitter handle as well, 6-Scale Combat.
What's 6-Scale Combat all about?
Comics and whatnot.
Oh, okay.
He gets political too. He gets political too, though. So.
Oh, I bet that's a joy to watch.
Right, but no. Now on to the I guess you could say the MAGA slasher. I guess, no. Okay. The swordsman of MAGA. We'll go with that. The swordsman of MAGA. Beware, liberals. Beware, or me and my sword of justice will slice your hand nearly off when you try to go for my MAGA hat of truth.
You know, a very popular anime attack is like the Omni Slash or the Mega Slash. Well, get prepared for the MAGA Slash.
Real talk, yo. Real talk.
Yeah. The MAGA Samurai.
Right. That's even better, the MAGA Samurai.
It's like instead of like the mustache on the samurai mask, it's instead Trump hair.
Nice. No. But
get make a comic out of that.
Right. Hint. But anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the MAGA slasher, dude, the Templar of MAGA.
There we go.
Yes, the Templar of MAGA.
Starting to get to the dang shit now.
All right.
The cult.
Right. Yes, the cult of MAGA, where all of us brandish our swords in battle to fight against the evil far leftists and the soy-filled invasion of America.
The round table of MAGA?
I can see that.
The round wall of MAGA.
Where's Tim Lim when we need him? Like he'd be like,
I was so right for that.
Great. Like he'd be like, "This is y'all motherfuckers are dumb. I'm down." That would probably be exactly what he does, dude. He's like, "Y'all motherfuckers."
All right. So catch me up to speed here. What is up with this guy?
All right.
What's up with this mad lad here?
So, older gentleman, lives in San Francisco without wearing a MAGA hat.
So a man of culture, then.
Yes, an extreme man of culture. But he basically out and about with his sword, apparently, because that's the thing you do.
As you often do.
Yes. And this dude went and tried to. Dude said he tried to knock the MAGA hat off, and like out of an anime, this dude just unsheathed and slashed the dude's hand nearly off, like nearly severed.
Is this man a Tengu in America? The American Tengu?
Yes, apparently. I'm just saying.
Like, god damn.
Right, and
this happened in San Francisco.
Yes.
What the hell? I thought we need to lop off California. Now I want to go there.
Right? It's like, it may not be as diseased as we thought it was. We just got to find those who don't have the sickness.
Like, god damn, we got these freaking real life heroes going on here.
Right. Well, the hero not so much. He's arrested and whatnot in jail for attempted murder, which I don't think will stick because.
You can eschew that to self-defense.
Well, that's the thing. I think California is a duty to flee state. That's why, like, the incident at Berkeley I was talking about earlier.
Holy gun laws, bro. Dude used a sword.
Yep. Yep.
How often do you have laws that revolve around swords? Unless you're in Texas, you can open carry that shit.
I'm just saying. I don't know nothing about swords. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. It is funny because it was funny. Like, quick side note: whenever you see those things online, it's like that thing to the left of you or to the right of you. So I'm like, depending on which way I go. Like
the MAGA Tengu.
Yes. Always got a sword, just saying. But anyway, so then he tried to run off. The dude with the severed hand and someone else chased after him. The dude turned around, went to draw the sword. They ran off. It's like, okay, the police still got him. And I'm not going to sit there and say that the dude doesn't have mental issues, but it doesn't. But at the same time, come on, that dude is. That is the most baller thing ever you could ever hear about, coming from an old dude in San Francisco.
Ever a moment you would ever earn a get out of jail free card at any moment in your life, that alone earns you a few.
Right? It's like,
God damn.
And it's like, come on, let's be honest. This dude isn't entirely unjustified in doing this. How many times we just did? This is the fourth one in a row where, because of Trump, liberals got butthurt. Two of which, like,
and plus you really can't be too careful because we've had a lot of incidences involving like Antifa and bodily harm charges.
Yep.
During this whole debacle of an election.
Oh yeah. No, I completely agree. And what's even funnier about it is the fact that it's like, come on, you had.
I mean, that could have just as easily been a hand knocking off a cap and a swinging bike lock on a chain.
Yeah. Real talk. I'm just saying. I mean, come on. The bike lock basher got like community service and probation for attempted murder, like 4 or 5.
That thing can literally cause seizures and internal bleedings if you hit it the right way. That guy could have caused some fatalities. At worst, mental retardation.
Yeah. There's the dude at the Portland protest in August got hit in the back of the head with a trench club. Like the Antifa guys, they're clever. Like he had it with fabric around it and everything, so you couldn't tell what it was. And you see these guys just hitting the dude with them. Dude's not giving it up. So you see this guy just standing there, boom, right into the back of the dude's head. All because
ban bump stock swords now.
No, get it right. It's chainsaw bayonets.
Freaking give me a chain sword. I will end all these heretics.
Indeed. they dare speak ill of the God Emperor Trump. They shall taste our righteous fury. I'm not even a 40K fan, and I know that's how they talk.
Hatred is my sword. Disgust is my shield. That is a for real pledge.
I like that. I like that. Chainsaw Bayonet is a band name. It needs to be. God damn, never let USA Today live that down.
Should be.
But no. So, 4 instances in just the past week of Trump supporters having to deal with crazy liberals. Oh yes, and so
day in, day out, 24/7, screeching in his ear.
It's like, come on, dude, come on. It's like, really, and you wonder why you got your hand sliced off almost. Leave Trump supporters the fuck alone. We're getting tired of it. I was like,
it is literally coming up to the point where people are wielding swords around, ready to cut people off at any slight provocation that would require self-defense because of all the bullshit going on.
right?
I sighed.
I mean, come on. In like November, a Jew was attacked at the World War II memorial there in Pittsburgh. They're like, you're a Nazi. I'm a Jew. You're a Nazi because we don't know if you're a Jew or not. So we're just going to beat you up anyway. Yeah, a legit thing happened.
Okay. Oh, God, no. Oh, God.
Yeah.
I'm fucking done.
It's like, come on, dude. Why don't you think it's like, yep. It's one of those like, well, I'm just going to have to go with maybe if you're a Trump supporter and you're wearing a MAGA hat. I know at the very least, hope you know how to fight, because these liberals are they're getting ballsy. They are getting ballsy. The CNN, MSNBC, all them already dog whistles. Hey, we're gonna cover for your ass. Do what you got to do. Okay. Trump supporters heard that dog whistle too. They just decided to start using swords to deal with the issue. Just saying. Well, the crazy liberals did want liberated. Shall we give them a hand?
I'm ready. Let's go. Let's do this. Let's do
this. I'm just saying. These guys want to act like like the Trump supporters are the ones that done lost their mind. Are you kidding me? I'm just saying. But now we will finally move on to the one that was shared with us in the group chat. This is the headline. This is the headline. Prepare to have you have to have an aneurysm. Instant.
Already too late. At least five times over.
Right. Headline. Dear men, here are 5 things you can do to support your wife or girlfriend in a sexist world. I'm not even going to go into what she says, okay? I'm not even going to go into what she said. I'm just going to give you the 5 things and break it down as we go. Just because. Believe in and educate yourself about misogyny. Really? Really, misogyny. Okay, so when the draft is misogynistic, okay, the fact that women on average are far more likely to get control of the kids as well as child support and alimony, that's misogyny. Okay. The fact that men are more likely to commit suicide and is 3 out of the 4 homeless, that's misogyny, apparently. Men are more likely to be addicted to drugs and more likely to end up in prison. Misogyny. Man, men are 98% more likely to die in a workplace death than women. Hashtag misogyny. I'm just saying. If you want to play this game, lady, you know what I mean? I think I might have lost Dustquill. Did I lose him?
Hatred is my sword. Disgust is my shield. Hatred is my sword. Disgust is my shield.
Right? I'm just, come on. Like, and I can keep going. Yes, we live in such a misogynistic world. Such a misogynistic world. I
think I may have picked the wrong vintage for this.
Wrong vintage. Right? Next one. Don't all men her when she tells you about the way a guy has treated her. Yes, but when it's reversed and men tell you about how an ex has treated them, you go, but not all women are like that.
Wasn't there like that show? What was it called? Excuse me. What would you do? It was like a social experiment, a gotcha cam like show thing, where They actually did a couple of episodes that were like the Battle of the Sexes, where like they had some actors go into a bar, a man and a woman. They sort of like flipped the rules where the man drugged the woman's drink and the woman drugged the man's drink to see how people would react. Then they did another one, which I think they did like another two, where like they had a male and female actor where the male would abuse the female actor and then the female would abuse the male actor to see how people react. And yeah, ultimately speaking, a lot more people gave more of a damn about the female being abused and drugged than the guy.
Yeah.
In fact, a lot of people seem to actually cheer and encourage the male abuse.
Yeah, laughing at it and everything. So, what's this about? Don't not all men her? Yeah. Okay, I'll stop using the not all men bit if women stop using the not all women bit. Fair is fair. Fair is fair. You can stop talking about misogyny. I'll stop talking about matriarchy. How's that go?
All right. You know how it's the meme that every time someone says something woke, you got the whole "that's the tea" kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should have a thing where we actually like clap back against the tea with something that actually makes more sense and actually pretty funny, and say that's the wine.
That's the wine. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Three.
Okay, let's continue this rolling cancer of an aneurysm.
Yes. Also, honorable mention to Humble Marty. It's that one song all over again. Everything is
sexist.
Never heard it. Kind of glad I haven't.
Yeah.
But
I should make a parody of that song. Everything is awesome to everything is sexist.
Right.
I bet I make millions.
Right. Do not stand by and allow men to disrespect her. That already is a thing. Like, it legit already is a thing. If any man sees another man abusing a woman, any man worth his salt is already intervening. What the fuck are you smoking, woman?
I don't even see that as a thing of... I don't even see that thing as a disrespect. I mean, like, that's just stopping abuse. Like, people find just looking at you wrong is a sign of disrespect and without any context at all whatsoever. It's why I don't put stock to the idea of respect. The word has been perverted so badly.
And let's look at the prime example, like the Gillette woke ad, where the dude like sees a girl and he's like, "Ooh," goes to walk up to her, and the black dude coming out the door stopped him.
Oh God, the number of memes that have made.
It's like, wait. So, the thing that actually causes relationships to happen, because let's be honest, no woman likes a man that's unable to make the first move. But we live in a society that penalizes men for making the first move constantly. So you have a bunch of women who are like, why aren't men talking to me? Well, what do you expect when you have an entire, when you've pretty much neutered what it means to be a male and made it to where any like breathing in your general direction is classified as a microaggression, a attempt by the patriarchy to silence you? No. All right, so like I said, men already do protect women way more than they protect other men when it's, disrespect from a woman. So no, it's best way I can put it is if you want to stop being disrespected, hey, then step up when it's happening to men. Once again. Thanks, #MeToo movement.
Yeah. What I'm about to say could be heavily construed as very, very inflammatory, inappropriate, and overall very sexist. So, all YouTube censors that are watching us right now, please cover your ears. You'll probably be notified when it's safe to uncover your ears eventually. Combine that whole thing about not liking men who don't make the first move, but also getting rid of the first move clause, as well as also the vast majority of female support of the subtly popular series of 50 Shades of Grey. I just think we live in a generation of women who have a lot of rape fantasies.
Right. I like that. Too late for war headphones, but no. Like, and it is kind of you present a valid point, because if I remember it, statistically that is actually a very true thing, but that doesn't matter. All right.
And I can say this as someone who actually spent a great deal of time in the very dark, dank, depraved bottoms of the internet for the better part of 5 to 10 years with ERP and shit like that. Yeah, there are in fact actually women out there that do actually get off to the idea of being raped.
I've heard of it, and it's but so, it's weird though. It's weird because it's just the best way I can describe it is this weird like borderline, because it's someone that they want it to be from somebody they're already attracted to, like, if that makes sense. Like, that's the only way.
It kind of is. It kind of isn't, because like with with a lot of things, there's a lot of like nuance and double side of things. There's a lot of people out there with these, I would say like unhealthy sexual fantasies that can't discern reality from fiction, where they'll find the fiction hot and amazing, meanwhile find the reality absolutely disgusting and should be dealt away with.
Yeah, I agree. And I think I may state I despise even I don't BDSM, I'm sorry, like violence and lovemaking do not go together. I'm sorry, they do not. If you are trying to set the mood, why are you trying to involve violence in the bedroom? Unneeded. Completely unneeded. Reserve that for someone you hate. I'm just saying. Saying. But anyway, moving on. For the love of women everywhere.
Now let's get out the kink dungeon.
Yeah, pretty much. While walking, ever so accidentally carrying a
guns and bikinis. Hey, those are my two fetishes. Right.
But while carrying an open can of gasoline and accidentally dropping a Zippo. I'm just saying. Bye, kink dungeon. You're not needed here.
Well, I think you just pissed off the entirety of our possible German audience.
Oh yeah.
But anyway. Micro pay explosions.
Yes. So we got to be taking off our sunglasses just as it happens and walking, wind blowing in our hair.
I wish I still had my transition lenses.
Not that they'd work inside.
Yeah, unless I like flash a flashlight in them.
Right. But for the love of women everywhere, please stop expecting her to act things out you saw in porn. So I guess we're just going right back into that dungeon. I guess we gotta clean it. I guess we gotta clean it back up.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Yes.
But yes, Gorgonite, 100 fucking %.
Yes, the long and thick of it is women can be more degenerate than men. Yeah, they can be. But here's my whole point. It really is. It doesn't matter. It takes all types. As I've stated time and again, it takes all types. Different strokes for different folks. I'm just going to disagree with you and look at you like you're kind of a little, you know what I mean? But
I mean, a great deal within the aspect of romantic relationships is, in fact, the physical sexual gratification. So, I mean, if you're not really willing to try your partner's interest, that can speak a lot about your investment within the relationship itself.
Yeah, well, for me, it's one of those.
To a certain extent.
Well, I've never asked a woman to do something crazy that I done seen in a porn. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I mean, there are some stuff in porn I would rather not do at all in
yeah,
any way whatsoever.
like I'm sorry. Like I've seen some things in porn that have made me go, okay, you know, I would never do that. I'd never do that. I'd never do. What the fuck? Is this entire industry just a bunch of abusive assholes abusing each other? And this is male and female, mind you, male and female, just abusing each other. Like I don't think this is like anti-boner material off, or more accurately, closing tab. It's like this is straight.
I mean, I'd still wank to it.
I'm walking away from that one. I'm just like, headset up. Like, gentlemen, I present to you the Muppet walk-off.
I mean, then again, I am a pretty degenerate piece of shit myself, so I mean...
Yeah. At least you admit it. At least you admit it.
At least I keep that in control with everything else in my life.
All right.
At least I try to.
5. Challenge your peers when they are abusing, disrespecting, or harming women.
As long as you obey the rule of the safe word, go for it as far as I'm concerned.
Right. And it's like, doesn't that fall under don't stand by and allow men to disrespect her? Like, isn't 3 and 5 the same exact one?
Repeat 5. Let's get a clear understanding of what it is.
5. Challenge your peers when they are abusing, disrespecting, or harming women.
Yeah, that's basically don't abide by disrespect.
They
couldn't even come up with, what was this, 5?
Yeah, it's supposed to be 5.
They couldn't come up with 5 things to have as their core doctrine for what to do with women as men.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. Like 1 and 2. Okay, 1, believe and educate yourself about misogyny. 2, not all men her when she tells you about the way a guy has treated her. All right. So 1 and 2 are basically the same thing. It's educate yourself on misogyny, which in turn would be like
second verse, same as the first.
Yep. Oh, second verse, same as the first. Now put me in a hearse. Put me on a plane so I can put him in a hearse.
Yeah.
Oh, please,
I know a song. I know a song that gets on everybody's nerve. Gets on everybody's nerve. Gets on everybody's nerve.
Right.
I know a song that gets on everybody's nerve.
Yes, I will mute you. I will. Don't forget, I can mute you, motherfucker. But no, but no. 1 and 2 are basically the same thing. The 3 and 5 are the same thing. And really, if you want to be technical, they're all just the same thing. Respect whammons. Pure and simple, respect whammons.
PewDiePie 2017, respect whammons.
Right? It's like, come on. And it's literally, if you said, I almost feel like the old George Carlin skit where it's like the 10 commandments are really just one commandment broken up into several needlessly. And that whole skit, how he goes into how technically each commandment falls under the just one. I was like, that's this. That's this.
Isn't his daughter like an extreme sellout to the woke empire?
Say that again.
I said, isn't his daughter like an extreme sellout to the woke fire? Because I'm pretty sure I've seen a couple of tweets of hers that were, well, let's just say her father probably wouldn't approve of.
Oh yeah. Like, I'm not even. George Carlin would look at the woke crowd. George Carlin, if that man was still alive, he'd look at the woke crowd and spend an entire an entire like hour and a half comedy special and just roasting them.
He would probably have 4 tours lined up just for that. He would make so much money. So much money.
Like, George Carlin knew how to roast people for their stupidity. All right, so next one. I think I sent this one to you. I'm double checking because I sent you a lot of shit today.
Yeah, there's a lot of research material to go through.
Yes, I did. It's the Orwell and Good post. The whole bit about the. get my ability to screen share back up.
I don't have my Twitter up because I'm trying to save as much
Bandwidth.
as much bandwidth as I can.
Not a problem.
Yeah, this whole thing with Union Jack bullshit.
Yes. This is what.
And if I remember right, the quote that he used specifically was, "When you hate your country, your own country, this much."
Yes, the exact quote was that. But no, he's like, but it's this is what greeted me at Bridlington Morrison's this morning. It hit a very raw nerve. I marched in and asked for the manager, and in no uncertain terms. Wait, I got to do this right.
I got to do this right. Morrison's like just a grocery store.
I think so.
Like a mom and pop grocery store.
I'm not sure. I think it may be a fairly like
semi-franchised
store. Yes.
Okay.
But I got to do this. I got to do this
like
right.
Rouse's then.
I guess. But I got to do this right. And I asked for the manager, and I told, in no uncertain terms, told him, being one of the 48% that voted Remain, I find these Union Jack symbols of nationalism that emblazon so much of the packaging in the supermarket stores totally offensive. The manager was a Leaver, of course, coming from a town that had one of the highest Leave votes in Yorkshire and Humber area. In a very supermarket entrance, on my own, I made it very clear wherever possible I would avoid buying anything with a UJ and definitely avoid buying British Sprouts.
And then the whole bus clapped.
Exactly. Hashtag Brexit, things that never happened.
Brexit equals life.
Like, come on. Really?
Oh, you rotten git. Did you stop on me frogging toad when you said stop us?
Right. I like that Brexit equal life. Yeah. I don't know. I think I did a good job on that accent and trying to.
I would be that guy that would go into the UK and just speak to everybody in the most overt Orcish accent ever.
just to be an asshole.
Oh, you gross git! What did you just blow inside of your money? Face when you want topless.
Oh, dude, but my whole thing is, what kind of dumbass will sit there and be like, this sounds like a good idea. I need to do this. I need to complain about packaging that has my country's flag on it, the country I was born and raised. And that'd be like me saying, I refuse to buy Dr. Pepper because of the fact that Dr. Pepper decided to put a
that was a great Canadian accent.
Oh, I tried.
Just don't let a resident Canuck hear that.
The bright, because
a resident snow monkey.
But oh, dude, that'd be funny. Yeah, we mentioned him and he appears in the chat.
No, the snow devil, he comes.
Mm-hmm.
It comes in his bear suit and moose antler headset.
Yes. Come on, Jack. Stay up there.
This is hilarious. We need to do a superhero team of magical girls wearing patriotic baseball caps, one for each continent. It'll be the next McDonald's toys.
Yes, we need that. We need that in our
life. Basically, Hitalia, but with sports gear. I can get behind this.
I guess. I don't know. I'm not big in anime, so I couldn't tell you. But
Hitalia is basically a anime about all the countries forming a UN during the time of World War II.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. But still, like, I'm sorry, but how stupid. This is what happens when you let the lowest common denominator breed. All right? Like, we're not...
Bob calling shots at the proletariat.
Let me be honest with you, all right? But when you have people that are so stupid that they don't understand that without supporting their own country, if you don't support your country is, pretty much, you don't have a country. We wouldn't have America if every American all of a sudden decided to stop supporting America. We wouldn't be America anymore because they would
Yeah, then we would just be eaten up by the practically next superpower that just is a bit too greedy for itself.
Yeah, exactly. And like, quite frankly, people like that, what bothers me the most is a lot of them are literally, and I'm not, okay, calling them a, you know, basically calling them mentally challenged or any, like, stupid or this, that, and the other, that is an insult to people who are mentally challenged.
And you know, in a way, it's actually kind of ironic with the way that I put it, because then these people that hate America and also hate Trump for colluding with Russia would, in fact, be the biggest step to an anarchy state in the United States, for where Russia would then come in and annex the United States, if Canada and Mexico and China wouldn't have done it already.
Yeah, and I like this. Six-scale combat said the best problem is we live in a post-national age. At least that's what certain factions are trying. Yeah, the far left, the regressive left. Give me a sec. I gotta find.
Now, while you find that, to kind of give a little bit to my own philosophy, I believe that we should strive for a globalist world with a one world government and all of humanity, all of humanity working together towards common goals like the uplifting and surviving of the entirety of mankind. But we have to acknowledge that while there is no such thing as a people being superior to other people, there is, in fact, a very, very strict hierarchy of some cultures being superior to other cultures. And while that may not be inherently a bad thing at first, what that does mean is that we can't form this globalist one world vision while we still have very, very primitive cultures that have not gotten up to speed on their own.
Yeah, no, that's
and forcing these worlds to collide before they're ready to is just absolute disaster that should not be done.
Well, it's like I've stated before, you know what I mean? The whole, like, how do I put it? It's trying to find the actual.
I mean, we still have cultures that do ritual sacrifice and cannibalism and still do slavery of the worst kind you can possibly imagine, and not just in any shady
Libya
black room deal, but out in the open source, wholesale receiving legitimate funds slavery.
Yeah. That's why I said, maybe it's still on my hard drive. That's why I said Libya, because prime example, we went in, ousted Gaddafi, and now look at all the problems that Libya is having. You know what I mean? I still have it on my computer. All right, give me a sec.
The other societies to catch up with the modern world and the modern age before we even dare think about the idea of a one world nation.
Well, there it is. That's what I was looking for. That's what I was looking for.
We just can't force uplift these people. They don't understand like how the modern stuff is supposed to work. They only know their own tribes and their own superstitions and their own oral storytelling that again involves voodoo, slavery, child sacrifice, ritual cannibalism.
Oh yeah, and that's why I have this up. It's see what we're seeing. What we're seeing right now is basically the people I'm talking about, the Remainers and whatnot in England and whatnot. Everyone else, these people want the political process to swing a bit more right, to become a bit more moderate, you know, more along the centrist area. All right, or I guess this would be the centrist area.
I'm not sure if I would count as traditional liberal or passive liberal according to this.
You'd be classified as probably the passive. See, what they're talking about here is these people are pretty much like these three are all in together. They're pretty much the exhausted majority. All right. Because under Obama for 8 years, they were constantly going to bat for Obama, regardless of what happened, this, that, and the other, right?
Right.
But the 8% that make up the actual, you know what I mean? What is the far left? The Antifa types, the open borders, let the illegal aliens vote,
basically the militarized anarchists.
Yes. Well, they're not even anarchists. Anarchists, like proper anarchists, don't care. They're like whatever. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of militarized anarchists that kind of clung themselves to the leftist ideology just to cause damage and disruption to the local government.
Yeah, but
it's actually kind of ironic because they're anarchists and they're clinging themselves to one of the most authoritative pushes of the modern age.
Oh yeah, but the thing is, these 8% are far left on the what would be classified as the political compass scale. They would be far left authoritarian, but they think that they try to portray Antifa as far left libertarian.
Oh, hell to the no. A far left libertarian would not be causing damage to the worker class that they claim to protect.
Exactly. They
would put all their aggression on the people they believe deserves the aggression, not the innocent bystander.
Yeah. And on top of that, they wouldn't care what Republicans think. They wouldn't be constantly doing everything they can to shut down Republican speech.
They don't let the Republicans run amok and defeat themselves while they do their own thing.
Which is what was happening prior to Obama. Like, literally, what was happening to Obama? What did you see under Bush and whatnot, and under Clinton? The Republicans are slowly setting themselves up to be a...
Well, Humble Marty, to respond to what you just said, just be aware, a lot of the most extreme authorities happened just after the anarchy uprising. And chances are they're not entirely unrelated to each other.
Mm-hmm. But no, it's one of those. Prior to Obama, you're seeing the right tear itself apart. Trying to impeach Clinton for getting some dome in the Oval Office, which for the most part nobody cared about. Let's be honest.
Yeah, really. I mean, like the guy managed to get some head in the Oval Office. That in itself would be pretty much considered a lifetime achievement for the ages.
And now,
that would be considered being the president in the most baller sense ever.
Yeah, but here's the thing: post Me Too. Oh, now Bill Clinton's a problem. Yeah, We've known about the way he is for 2 decades over at this point. Let's see, Me Too started in 2017, if I remember right.
If not that, then at least a couple years prior.
No, 2017 is when Harvey Weinstein situation.
Okay.
All right, but you have. Me Too happened, and it took them until finally the end of last year. But Bill Clinton's kind of problematic. Yeah. Now he's problematic. Now he's problematic. But anyway, to get back to the point, the right was tearing itself apart. Obama gets in power, and Obama starts pushing intersectionality, things like that. You see a lot of
and somewhat pretty much united the right afterwards. Yeah.
But real quick, I think you're about to touch on what 6th Scale Combat said.
Yeah, he was asking you what you would classify him as.
Him? I'm sorry, 6th Scale. I don't know enough about you yet. I just kind of really got to know you, recently. Give it enough time, and I'll be able to peg you better.
Just wait a couple of weeks, maybe.
right? But no, I thought you were talking about the Antifa will dangle from the rafters first if a revolution occurs. Look at Cassis and Cassis Iran, I guess, is what it.
Well, what causes in Iran? I would think you would say, but I'm not too sure Antifa would be the first, considering they're actually the ones not afraid to weaponize in case of a revolution. Like they are itching for the fight. They are more than ready for it. Like they got guns, they got improvised weapons, they got IEDs. They are full on ready for it. It's more the useful idiots that'll start swinging first.
Mm-hmm. And here's the thing, they for every I think dude's name's like Darren Dixon or something like that. There's a dozen other rednecks who are full blown like hardcore Republicans that know how to handle. Where okay,
if I remember right, during the time of World War II, one of the advisors for the Japanese Imperial Army said, "Look, you can't invade America because for every blade of grass, there's a man with a gun.
Yep.
Let's just bomb Pearl Harbor instead and send a message."
Which is something we tend to touch on a lot on my channel. But it's because it's true. But the thing is, you have the far left, that these people that I just touched on, that think that, oh, well, we know what we're doing. We've had single day boot camps. Single day boot camp versus Republicans who are statistically far more likely to have served in the military than liberals. I'm not saying there aren't.
This is not accounting for the fact that if civil war were to occur, just about every single modern gang would be forming their own tribal war states and their own slices of territory, which will cause a whole deluge of issues in of itself.
Oh, dude, I'm not denying that, but the point I'm making, the point I'm making is this 8% thinks that they can actually win in a revolution. Like it's one of those. I completely have just disavowed the one friend I was telling you that I always reference.
You finally done it?
I finally did it. I'm just like I completely unfollowed him on Twitter and whatnot. I'm just like, I got nothing. I got nothing.
It was about damn time. You actually sound like you were getting real tired of them.
Well, it's not so much that I still love the dude to death. It's just that I look at it like this. There's no amount of logic. There's no amount of reason. There's no amount of anything that's going to get through his thick skull, through his ideology, and get him to realize that he's his own worst enemy. That everything that has happened to him that's gone wrong, since he's moved to Portland, has been his own fault. Yeah, your wife decided that she wanted to be your husband. Instead of taking it and being, quite frankly, a bitch, you should have said, no, I married a woman. I'm straight. If you want to go this way, I'm not going to tell you no. I'm just going to want a divorce.
Yeah, and 6 scale kind of touches on the thing that I've always brought up. Like, we're dealing with the people that say that all cops are racist, authoritarian psychopaths waiting to pull the trigger of their guns at any slight provocation. And the military complex are also filled with nothing but psychopaths ready to be the attack dogs of the government. Yet, they're also the same people that say the citizenry should not have any firearms whatsoever and that only the police and military should have guns.
I know, it's amazing, isn't it? And Humble Marty, the episode you're talking about is actually the first. It was a 3-parter. It's the first episode of Justice League Unlimited, or not Unlimited, but Justice League. And
how can you house these two very conflicting thought processes together in the same brain? They are so fundamentally opposed to one another that it should be physically impossible for your brain to reconcile having these thoughts together.
Take intersectionality, all right? Another example of this. Intersectionality is very protective of Islam and Muslims and this, that, and the other, but at the same time pushes things that are very much things that conservative Islamists don't agree with. They don't agree.
That is another thing. They fail to recognize that Muslims are even more conservative than most Christians.
Yes.
They are their own conservative religious party. They would be fundamentally against everything they support.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree.
Like, what are you doing?
I can tell you exactly what they're doing. They're leading with emotion and not with their heads. They constantly, like, quite frankly, the thing that I like to touch on a lot when it comes to these types is intersectionality, which is the same thing that comes with this. The minute you point out the flaws in it, they just, what do? You're a racist, you're a bigot, you're this, you're that.
I still loathe people who say that criticizing Islam is racist, because that in of itself is a racist statement, because you're either saying that only Arabs can be Muslim or that all Arabs are Muslim, when that is definitely not the case either way.
Yes. And you get to say that by their own rules because you're a quarter Syrian.
Yeah, I'm quarter Syrian. I'm also fucking bisexual and atheist.
Exactly. You get to say it. What are they going to do?
If Sharia law were to come to the United States, I'm one of the first people on the goddamn chopping block.
Yep. And what's funny is the fact that...
And I'm also an alcoholic and a legalized all drugs and pornography advocate. I am literally the first on the chopping block.
I know. But which segues great into the other thing. I think I sent you the James Woods tweet, where with
James Woods. So which
with
one is that?
With the quote from Carl Sagan.
Oh yeah, Carl Sagan. That's right. Yeah.
I have a foreboding of an America in my children's or grandchildren's time, when the United States is a service and information economy, when nearly all key manufacturing industries have slipped away to other countries, when awesome technological powers are in the hands of a very few, and no one representing the public interest can even grasp the issues, when people have lost the ability to set their own agendas or knowingly question those in authority, when clutching your crystals and nervously consulting your horoscopes are critical faculties in decline, unable to distinguish between what feels good and what's true, we slide, almost without noticing, back into superstition and darkness. The dumbing down of America is most evident in the slow decay of substantive content in the enormously influential media. The 30-second sound bites, now down to 10 seconds or less, lowest common denominator programming, what I was just talking about, credulous presentations on pseudoscience and superstition, but especially a kind of celebration of ignorance.
It sort of colors back to what I said, in times where wealth outright outweighs in supply, then ignorance becomes a virtue. It becomes very, very valuable.
Yeah. And it's really one of those situations where it's like...
It's just the further feeding of the never-ending cycle of human progress, success, then decline and failure.
Yeah. And what's sad is I'm sick. Like, if these idiots would actually pay attention, like, there's a reason why I have a copy of Carl Sagan's biography, because Carl Sagan knew what the fuck he was talking about. Carl Sagan could see the writing on the wall and would go, okay, let me try to warn people, but you know what I mean? But instead of people listening, they would...
I'm pretty sure if it wasn't for our own bloated, decaying bureaucracy, the United States actually would have dissolved a long time ago.
You think so?
Yeah, considering the stuff that's been going on for the past few decades, and it kind of looks that way. The only reason why we're still in power is the fact it would take more paperwork to dissolve a nation than just to keep it rolling along as a carcass.
Yeah, that you know, what's sad is that you're probably a little right there.
Because now we're at a stage where we actually need to have like recognition from all countries around the world to be recognized in a country. We probably need to do the same thing to recognize the dissolving of a country. So just the fact that there's so much bureaucracy that you literally cannot be dissolved unless you just torch everything down to ashes.
Right. No, and it really is just one of those situations where, you know, you have basically people who can't see the writing on the wall, but they tell you they see the writing on the wall. Oh, but it's so obvious. How could you not see it? What does it say? Spoon! You're a dumbass. You know what I mean? Like, that's what they do.
You know, I actually would not mind seeing a narrative about how it would actually take more paperwork to dissolve a country than it would be to just keep it chugging along as a dead husk of its former self. I think that might be an interesting cyberpunk concept.
Right.
Now that I think about it.
But you get my point, though. We are in a situation in this country where you have individuals that have been warned. Several people have been warning of this exact thing that Carl Sagan is warning us, or was warning us about. You know what I mean? Back then, and everyone's like, "Oh, whatever." And the more, yes.
Hello, darkness, my friends.
Yep.
I'm to talk to you again.
You have no more wine.
Yeah, I'm allowed. And that's actually the last of the bottle too. Damn.
Right.
I would have thought that would have lasted longer, but I didn't account for the stupidity of the week.
Yeah. Dude, believe me, I know. Believe me, I know. Let me put it to you like this: I need to get me coffee too. So.
All right, I'll try to keep the masses entertained.
Word. I shall return momentarily.
All right, you go get your coffee. Caffeine junkie. So how's everybody else doing today? Everyone else doing good? You all doing fine? You all got enough alcohol to deal with this bullshit? I know I don't. And that concerns me greatly for my own health. And many fashions. But yeah, how is everybody doing? I think we only got Humble Marty, Cisco, and I think I saw a little bit of Morganite. Anyone else here? Nah, not really. Yeah, nah, I mean, that's fair enough. I mean, not that many people were interested in multi-hour live streams of politics anyway, so I guess that's fine.
All right, and I'm back.
Hey, welcome back. I was just asking if everybody had enough alcohol to be able to cope with what's going on.
Hey, man, I was thinking about spiking my coffee. I'm just saying. Thinking. Didn't do it, but it's thinking.
The only thing better than coffee is Irish coffee.
And we have the Irish whiskey. And the heavy whipping cream.
Drinking wine? What sort of bourgeoisie stream is this? If you think I'm bourgeoisie with my freaking handcrafted blueberry wine, you got low standards for bourgeoisie, my friend.
Right. Hey.
I mean, this isn't even properly aged. This is like straight out the batch from distillation. The batch isn't even completely done yet. This is just the leftovers.
Nice. But now to get on to the one that you brought us to the
one that I brought to your attention.
Yes.
I can only imagine what this would be.
It's the whole bit about the dude talking about the willingness to I see the originally started with real talk warning, late night after a day of shooting shots. Maybe I should actually explain to all y'all who that's unimportant.
Yeah, for backstory for everybody else with this. In case y'all didn't know, I do my own show on my own channel every month where I showcase independently made tabletop games, and every once in a while I'll even do interviews of creators. This is actually from one of the creators that I'll be interviewing later this month, and he's doing a game called Swordsfall, which apparently has been incredibly successful, like 300% funded in like the first day. All right, we're talking about that crazy, and it is a Afro punk game. It's like entirely, African culture, futuristic. There's no Europeans, no Asians, all, African based in a fictional world. Trying to celebrate, African culture, African history, which, doesn't get talked about a whole lot because, this I'll admit it, African culture, African history doesn't really affect the whole world at large. So it's a bit of a neglected field of research, I guess you can say, and also a bit of a neglected field of fantasy setting. And I found it so captivating. The aesthetics were so great that I wanted to do an interview. And this was a thing that I happened to find because this guy has been through quite a lot because of just his race. Like, probably not to the extent of like, actual colonial America and civil rights era, but he still faced quite a lot of adversity because of his race, and he kind of, talks a lot about it in his own Twitter. And this is how this whole thing started. So go right on ahead.
All right.
Just had to bring context to the matter.
And it's funny. Dude's like, I don't suppose you're advocating segregation, even though that would solve these problems. Instead of trying to force people to abandon their group think, just stay within your group. And I love your response. Segregation? You sincerely believe that segregation will solve these issues, and also thinking that Swordsfall advocates for that. That's pretty funny. Look, there's probably a plethora of things even I and the Swordsfall people probably agree on, disagree on. He's like, it's being tried right now, and it's like 1.1 person.
There's like a whole thing with Detroit, because the whole thing is that for whatever reason escapes my understanding, he believes that people willingly, separating themselves and going and moving into neighborhoods that's predominantly their own race. Like you have like your own like Korea towns, China towns. Maybe you have like the predominantly black ghettos. So, you say ghettos, they say willingly, that's like, it's a hot topic issue. I know I live like right outside of a ghetto. Not many people willingly live in there, but, just willingly choosing to go to places that are predominantly of their own race and living there, and just amassing that over time to where you actually have like clear off sections, like race boundaries, race territories of certain locations because of people moving into areas that are predominantly their own race of their own volition, is somehow the same as state enforced segregation.
Yes. No, I get it. And like what he says here, what he said here is 1.1 person. Detroit is so diverse that it manages to have almost perfect lines separating the different races. Not only do whites not want to live with the diversity does not want to live with us either. And it's like, it's not even a matter of that. Like,
that, you can argue that to be a fair point when it comes to diversity. The majority public doesn't care about it, just want to be with their own kind. Yeah, sure, whatever. But the clincher is that it's their own choice. They're not forced to do it by the states, by the military, by the police, by actual legislation. They did it of their own choice.
What that dude is talking about, though, is talking about state sanctioned separating everybody up, balkanizing everybody into their own groups, and it's like,
And the moment someone dares to try and intermingle, they are punished to the harshest extreme of both social justice and the law.
Exactly. As state-enforced segregation at its worst is like farting in a goldfish bowl. You're sitting in and getting trapped with your own gas. Crude, but yeah, I prefer opening a window. No, and I get that. And like, my whole thing is remember when the left was against segregation? Was against, like, you even have within this past week, there's been a lot of, apparently there was another article, which I completely forgot to look for and everything to be able to bring up, where you have leftists talking about how a black man said, yes, he broke up with her because she was white. An Asian woman talking about how she doesn't like being seen in public with her white fiance because she's afraid of the looks that people will give her.
Yeah, she's afraid of being like looked at as lesser and getting harassed because of their choices.
Yeah. And it's like, remember when the left was...
And then to further go along with the fucking cancer that was that whole thread, the guy even tried to like backtrack and say, oh, my bad. I guess I should have said segregation. I should have said black separatism instead. Like,
that doesn't help any.
It's like, but it's still not state-enforced segregation. Still individual choice.
Yes.
You can say whatever you want about black separatism. It's still not as bad as segregation.
Well, for me, it's one of those, like I was mentioning the other night, how what had happened to the dream of us working together. It's like, it's funny because I saw this post earlier this week, and I meant to grab it up. I think I
think one of the best tweets I've ever seen involving all of this bullshit is like, it's like saying, I think at this point we have the moral imperative to dig up Martin Luther King's body and use it as an alternative energy resource because he is spinning in his goddamn grave.
The sad thing is you're not joking either. It's like, it's one of those situations where it's like, how can I put it? We have reached the all-time like high for stupid people, and it's funny because I'm trying to find this post real quick because it really does epitomize how I feel about this. Right here. I know to find it. What do you mean you can't display?
The fringes are focal. Normal people work together. Yeah, I mean, like guys, you don't understand. I get called a Nazi and a racist on a very regular basis, and meanwhile, I have no like actual like blood siblings, but I do have a brother. We're not even like step. We're not even adopted. We are brothers to a spiritual level. The motherfucker's black as all hell. We're like the best friends in the entire world, and he's as black as all get out.
No, I get it. Believe me, I get it. Let me try this.
And we became friends as I was stopping people from bullying him and including him into my friendship circles in the 4th grade when we were single digits in age.
Right. No, I completely get it. I'm trying to get this one. For some reason, the standard Windows photo viewer being a jackass.
Yeah, that's about right.
It's like, you don't have the memory to run this. The fuck I don't. What the fuck is wrong with you, computer? Let's try photo gallery.
Chrome is eating up all the RAM again.
I wouldn't be surprised. Chrome does that. Come on, you better fucking work. Yes!
Yeah, finally.
All right. So screen share, and like the I guess you could say a bit of a trigger warning before I read this.
Oh boy, here we go. Just from the first line.
Yeah, this is what guys like me have been, and I'm guessing Duskull too, have been trying to stop this whole time. And every time we said, quit acting the way you do, you're just giving the white nationalist recruits. All you're doing is creating more white nationalists, creating more individuals that will want to do something. You know what I mean? It's just like, no. But all right, let me read it. Hi, OP, straight up cracker here from the most crackery part of the U.S. The reason white racism is increasing is because this generation of young white men were raised to be the least racist generation of whites to ever exist in the history of this planet. We grew up being taught that racism was bad, that we were all going to move past it and work together towards a better future. Even here in the most traditionally racist part of the country, nearly every young white boy in my generation grew up watching black athletes, black actors, listening to black musicians, etc. It was all normal. We were 95% post-racial. So as we got older, we stuck our hands out in friendship to everyone like we'd been taught to. And then every non-white group on the planet came by and sucker punched us from behind, called us evil white devils, and told us we deserved to die. We were ready and willing to move on from the past. The rest of you weren't. Instead of shaking our hands and marching off together, you chose revenge against the only white people who've ever let their guard down. So now yous can't be our friends, and we're reforging the identity we were taught to shed. And the thing is that makes it worse is it's going to, because of the actions of these individuals, it's going to be far worse than what it was. Escalation.
Yeah.
And
like,
like
how many Democrat candidates now has reparations as a part of their platform?
All of them. All of them.
It's like, why? No black person in the United States today suffered slavery, and no white person in America today has practiced slavery. Why is reparations a thing now? If y'all wanted reparations, it should have happened when slavery was dissolved first in the country.
Yeah. Yeah. No, 6 Kill Combat said it best. Personally, I think we live in the least racist age in history in the Western world. That is, yeah. Yeah, and it's like, hey, go over to like China and start talking about this. You want to know what they're going to call you? White left. Go over to Japan.
And if you want to talk about black people never being racist, I'd recommend you to look up Roof Koreans, and you want to find out how bad black communities can get with racism.
And
Roof Koreans, ROOFKOREANS. Roof Koreans. Look it up. It is a hell of a thing. Practically a civil war inside of America between two demographics in one city.
Yeah. But the point I'm making is the fact that we have a situation here where people are the left, like, and may I say, when I saw that whole spiel, when I saw that shared around on Twitter, my first thought was, yeah. And what's sad is there's been plenty of us that have been trying to prevent that exact same thing from happening. I've
been trying to prevent that since fucking childhood without realizing it.
Yes, and that's the point. You have plenty of us who've been trying to prevent these issues to...
Do I have a subdermal implant, or is my vape corrupted?
I think he's talking about your headset that's flashing blue on your neck.
Nah, it's just, a Bluetooth headset.
Yeah, I knew what it was.
It's kind of blending with my shirt.
Dude, no, actually, it took me forever to actually see it. I was like, what the fuck is that blue thing flashing on his neck? Oh! I finally watched that, caught that, our first Under Over 30 Politics we did.
Yeah. Don't mind you all. This is just my collar for my Democrat masters to keep an ear on all of our conversations to find the centers.
Yep.
Nothing big.
But no, but my whole point is, that was the dream. We were supposed to lock hands and walk off into the sunset together as one united species. Why? Because we're working together to get to the fucking stars.
As Martin Luther King stated, I had a dream of little white kids and little black kids walking hand in hand.
Yeah. And it's why, like, even with the whole bit that I sent you the link to, the owning identitarians bit, like that whole bit where I pretty much kept pointing out. When you point out, it's they themselves that are holding us back. They're like, no, you're just being racist. No, you're holding us back. And the fact that you can't rebut anything that I say, and the fact that I constantly have been pointing out and giving you things where you yourself are fucking up.
It's
and
like we have so many, and I mean so many Black people and Hispanics teaching in schools, working in law enforcement, working in firefighter positions, working in the military, becoming politicians, becoming scientists, becoming actors and songwriters and celebrities, and even got a Black person to become president of the United States of America, one of the biggest world powers ever known to mankind.
Yep.
What more can we do to show we are trying to put racism behind us? What more do these people want to show we are willing to put in the effort and try to reach to a better future? What more do they want?
And it's like I finally told them after I got fed up. It's, basically, quite frankly, I will pop that up because I saved the thread because I was like, the
whole Facebook thing you got into involving the Covington kids?
Well, no,
or is this something else?
It was the one involved where the that I showed you was how do I put it, the Chris Rock one where how there's always so much pressure on Black.
Personally, I think the decline started when women were given voting rights. well, hey, in the words of Whoopi Goldberg, I think we should end women's suffrage.
Yeah.
In the words of Whoopi Goldberg, I think we should win women's suffrage.
Yeah, no. My whole point.
Fucking Whoopi. I swear.
I lost all respect for her a while ago.
And it's a shame. I actually liked her movies quite a lot.
Well,
and also a lot of the short films she starred in. They were all pretty good.
Yeah, well, but that's the thing. I mean,
I just think that The View, the show, The View, is like some kind of Lovecraftian horror that ruins everybody that goes onto it or listens to it.
Oh, I know.
The View should be canceled.
I agree. There's a lot of things that should be canceled. There it is, saved. It shows you how much I'm on fucking Facebook. Shows you how much I'm on fucking Facebook. I'm like, I can't even find this motherfucker. Like, all right. So, notice that there's more pressure on Black people to stop talking about race than there is for racists to stop being racist. System doesn't want racism to end. It just wants you to stop talking about it. No. We wanted it to end. We did. We were doing everything. The white people in America were doing everything they can to end it. It wasn't until the people like Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, and whatnot, who had knew for a fact we won.
Wasn't like a great majority of Martin Luther King's followers white people? A lot more of the Black people went along the route of the hyper vitriolic, combative Malcolm X, as well as the guy who wanted to bring all the Africans back to Africa.
I don't know. All I know is one. What's up, Matt?
Hey, we have a Matt.
Yes.
The feud between Whoopi and Rosie was also great. I guess. Yeah.
Right. But this was my first response that started all of this. One problem with this: white racists are deplatformed from every platform, but Black racists get a primetime slot on CNN. And literally, Joshua Boy Stop. Yes, for those who don't know, my actual name is Josh.
Yeah.
Your ignorance is showing. White racists get to be cops and judges. How many racist Black cops have you seen? Really? And mind you,
wasn't there a report that a majority of excessive use of force on minority civilians was done by minority officers?
Yeah, it's like, come on. But
There's like for every white officer that abused power over a minority, there's like 5 minority officers that did the same.
oh no, I get it.
Yeah.
It's like, and to me, I want to get to the point where I finally just had enough, and I was like, you motherfuckers can fuck off, because I literally spent all day, yes.
Uncle Marty, to answer your question, I would like to just say the best Goldberg is the wrestler Goldberg.
Uh,
It was always my favorite for a time before I grew up, got edgy, and started liking the Undertaker.
Let's see.
I still sort of like the Undertaker a lot.
All right.
It doesn't get as many victories as he should.
I look at it like this. I've never been a wrestling fan at all.
I used to be. I kind of gotten out of it. I should get back into it, but that would involve a lot of years of catching up.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I would be
wrestling is the best soap opera because it involves physical violence. I mean, it pretty much is a soap opera. Just a lot more punching and tombstones.
Oh yeah, no, I get it.
Used to have pretty good writing too, but that kind of went downhill for a good bit.
Let's see. Like I said, I'm trying to find the exact post where I finally, because
you were going at it for a long ass time. It's going to be a while before you find your give up point. Because I think you actually had like 2 or 3 give up points, but you kept going back because you just had to say something even more stupid you just had to respond to.
Yeah, it's literally one of those, like, I'm sitting here like, come on, dude. I have constantly, like, said, hey, I win, you lose. And like here at one point, good example, since you mentioned it, look, I'm getting real tired of all of you jumping through endless hoops to twist my words out of context, knowing full well what I mean, and then tripping over each other, calling me the racist for pointing out the truth. So when you, in all caps, identitarians cause a fucking race war, know that you brought it on yourselves, that folks like myself tried to prevent it, but a lot of you would rather be the exact thing you said you were against. Just remember, your rhetoric only strengthens the white nationalists while weakening your numbers, as you drive many to them out of fear, all because your reckless disregard for the facts. Not the talking point buzzword salads that you claim to be facts, but the cold hard facts. The very facts that proved we were closer as a nation a decade ago, before you all drank the Kool-Aid and started thinking that all white folks want to do is kill minorities. Before the lot of you allowed yourself to be shackled to an ideology that is going to do far more damage than slavery and Jim Crow ever could in the long run. As you did it to yourselves. No, at that point, I was like, no, I'm done repeating myself.
And it's like they still want to be individuals, but still have the benefits of being a monolithic identity by like being allowed to have revenge for events that never happened to them.
Exactly.
That
like,
they've never experienced.
Like, it's like a... dude, it's like the so-called race war never actually ended. It's been refined to not taste like one. What the fuck are you smoking, dude? What the fuck are you smoking? This dude actually, like, is a friend of mine, or was, I don't know. He put himself in that light where I don't even want to deal with him anymore. Because he's one of those black identitarian types who think that just because I'm white, I'm automatically some colonizer, oppressor that's like, you know what I mean?
I still hate the fact that in Black Panther movie, colonizer was a thing.
I agree.
And it's like, country was never colonized.
I know. I'm right there with you. And then, like, the next person was like, I have not pointed out any truth, period. I'm ignorant, and I think I know what... this is what exactly we should put. You're ignorant, and you think you know what you don't know, you're an idiot and obviously disturbed. There isn't going to be any race for you insane nitwit.
Meanwhile, we have a mass killer in New Zealand that literally tried to start so many race wars, so many ideological wars, just so many wars in general, and is actually on the verge of having that happen because people are so goddamn stupid.
Oh yeah, and it was funny because I even responded back to the individual. If I was wrong, this is my exact quote. If I was wrong, you wouldn't be bending over backwards. Now, mind you, from you to the end is all cap. You wouldn't be bending over backwards trying to discredit me for the last fucking time. And then the next one is like, you want to be a bunch of identitarians. You want to hate white people for the crime of being born white, and you want to make us all out to be nothing more than cheap two-dimensional villains. Go ahead. That seems to be all the lot of you care about. Making whitey pay and the consequences be damned. You don't want to fix things. You don't want to see us as a united species reach to the fucking stars, as that means you have to deal with us dirty white people. And it's like
just overall, there's just people that want to wallow in the filth they start off in. They don't want to build to something up. They just rather bathe in the mud.
Right? And it's like,
and if someone dares do the immoral act of trying to get out the mud, and just drag them back in.
Mm-hmm. And it's like,
I mean, like, there's also the thing, like, funny, I mentioned the roof Korean things. Like, during those riots where the roof Korean meme became a thing, it wasn't just, Korean stores that get burned in the riots. There were a lot of Black people that also got their livelihoods absolutely ruined too, beyond the point of a comeback by their own fellow Black rioters. These people, these identitarians don't hate people based on race. They hate people based on success, whether you are of their race or not.
But
if you try to succeed, if you try to get out of the struggle, it will burn down everything you have ever made to bring you back onto their level and keep you there. That's all they want in life.
All right, and like here's another good excerpt out of it. And mind you, the only reason why I'm not screen sharing this is because I'm not putting people on blast like that.
Yeah.
Like that really isn't cool.
Of course.
But at one point I was like, because you are not oppressed, in all caps, mind you, you are not oppressed. You have opportunities here in the States that people all over the world would sacrifice just about anything to be able to have. That many do risk it all to come here to get, and some perish in the quest of. I would rather we toss our petty squabbles aside. Unfortunately, it appears that I'm the only one, as the rest of you want to keep bringing up the past, constantly bringing up the fact that at one time things were fucked up in this country, not allowing redemption for those who hate themselves for being white. Only allowing redemption for those who hate themselves for being white, but you get to love yourself for your blackness. You get to say that white people are not homogenous and homogenous in the same sentence. And then when someone like myself comes along wanting to get everyone on the same damn page so we can move the fuck on from here, instead you're more worried about the fact that a white person dared to have something intelligent to say on the subject rather than actually think about what's being presented, because once again, whitey's gotta pay. Am I wrong?
No.
Am I wrong?
No.
That's all these people that ye who constantly is looking behind them will never move forward. And that's what people do.
And yeah, Humble Marty is exactly. Did you drop something?
Yeah. Okay. Doom fell again.
Yeah, Humble Marty is just like you said, but instead of the crabs wanting to build the foundation of the bucket up, so that everyone has an easier chance, to go over the rim. They just want to take anyone that looks like they're about ready to get close to the room and drag them down, saying, "Hey, if I can't get out of here, neither can you."
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's good. Doom there, but no. That's literally it, and it's like it's why I say the line that I despise the most, the freaking most, lived experiences. Lived experiences is pretty much just a way to say, oh well, I have no smart rebuttal to what you said, so therefore I'm going to throw a Hail Mary comment out there. Well, what's up, Mecca?
Yeah, Mecca.
We've gotten most of the topics on. Now we are technically
we gotta went on a bit of a tangent a bit
because we were talking about how Fred earlier, individual creating a tabletop game, very Afro-punk, very Afrocentric, things like that. And one dude tried to say, "Oh, segregation." It's now that involved.
Yeah, it went on a whole nuanced discussion about the differences between choosing to living in an area predominantly of one's own race and state enforced segregation. Because apparently we have people who are confused about the differences between the two. I don't know how that happened, but it happened.
Like this is how I ended it, and I still love this shit. I was like, just leave the fiction shit to us adults, as obviously y'all are more worried about virtue signaling instead of actually fixing shit. And I dropped my virtue signal award that I made.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and at that point, I stopped talking about it. Like, you can see them all going on. It's like one person even pointed, like, him and I've already had issues before and have had words before because I called him on his shit. Because,
right.
Okay, a secret group on Facebook. It's I think they called it the Great Debate, all about race and shit like that. I got kicked from the group because I called them on their shit, and I presented a situation to them. I was like, okay, if you're not racist, if you knew for a fact that you could kill a white person and get away with it scot-free, no one say anything and this, that, and the other, would you do it?
Yeah.
Got real quiet real quick. Like, people stopped posting for a minute. They said that was another conversation, but the point I'm making it, and then this individual was like, "Oh, so you think we're just a bunch of violent black people? Y'all are the one who have continuously, on several occasions, glorified violence against white people perpetrated by black people. On several occasions."
And Mecca, to catch up on the whole thing, it's not segregation within role playing. The whole tabletop thing is that it's Afro-punk, Afro-centered, very African, and that's because the entire aesthetic is African. There's no Europe, there's no Asia, there's no Americas. It's all African and basically sci-fiing African culture, So it's not segregation. So I don't think we call it segregation of role play if there's no other races to segregate.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, no. But
to put a happy ending on the whole ordeal, many people blocked the guy, even Swordsfall people blocked the guy, and even though I stated, within my rebuttal that there's stuff that even me and the Swordsfall people would probably disagree on, and I have seen some stuff they posted that I disagreed with. Chances are they've probably seen some stuff I posted that they disagreed with. We're still, fine and happy. I like their tweets, they like my tweets, and we're still going to do the interview. Yeah, we're still going to do we made some chuckles at the segregation guy's expense, and we're still on for doing the interview later on in the month, even saying this will probably make a funny story to tell. So, it's a bit of a happy ending regardless.
Oh yeah. But to finish my bit that I was explaining, because that's kind of an area you don't want to end it on. You know what I mean? Like, because me basically asking that question and the dude responding back that, oh, that's what I think of black people a lot, and I was like, no, that's what I think of you lot, because like I said, you've glorified violence against white people, you've glorified violence against anyone who isn't black or isn't a person. Like
it's like when you criticize one woman and then somehow you're sexist against all women.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Like, you remember the kid that was disabled that got in Chicago, that was live stream being tortured by the 4 black people, and being told, oh, and they all said it because he's white, and they were all being racist and whatnot. This lot glorified it.
Yeah, that's about right.
They were all like, oh, why'd he get what he deserved? Why'd he getting this? Why'd he getting that? Look at that. Yeah, that's what he deserves. That's what he should be getting. Really?
It's
and then
like,
you wonder why
this is a high school mentally handicapped kid. Well, what are y'all doing with your lives? Are y'all this pathetic that this is the highlight of your existence?
Oh, yeah. And so me calling him on it and pointing this out, and I think it was actually, it was a video of a black dude punching a white one that I finally was like, I asked this question on. It was one that was going around like at that time roughly. Like, so you get the point.
Yeah.
And like, and I called him out on it. I was like, you just refuse to admit your own racism as you hide behind your mother at every turn. You just hate the fact that I called you on your hypocrisy, and while it may have been very clumsy, my point still stands that you would receive no consequences for purging an entire group of people based solely on the skin, that if you would receive no consequences for purging an entire group of people based solely on skin deep features, you would. Once again, you're nothing more than a racist identitarian.
And then you were subsequently kicked out the group.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's like, don't sit there and talk about how white people are racist and white people this and white people that, and then when someone
when you are the criminals of your own crimes.
Thank you. If you're going to sit there and say all white people are racist, all white people are this, all white people are that, and then you turn around and do the exact thing you're accusing white people of doing, then
racial diversity and tolerance for thee, not for me.
It's like it's one of those. It's like the bit I shared earlier that I read.
I still very much hate all those quote unquote news articles of the Black Panther movie that stated it was like over 90% black, and because of that it was hella diverse. I'm like, that's
not diverse.
That's not diverse. That's very homogenous. Like, I'm like, fine, I got nothing against it. It's a movie that takes place in Africa. It makes sense, but
if you're going,
come on,
yeah, homogeny is not
come on,
and especially when the one white person there is meant to be a joke. One of the two white people in the movie is meant to be a joke.
I still can't believe they got away with having a group of black guys act like gorillas in front of one of the few only white people in the movie and not be called racist.
I know.
How can you actually get away with that nowadays?
Because it was, let's be honest, it's black people doing it. It's like, and like at one point I went right here. It was like Michael Jackson.
I will never not stop giving Black Panther shit because it deserves a lot of it.
Oh yeah, but you remember? Well, you might not, but okay. Early '90s, Michael Jackson put out a song with a music video that had like Macaulay Culkin in it and shit. No lie.
Yeah.
It was the name of the song was "Black or White." All right, and the whole song was about how we were moving past our racial differences.
Yeah. Don't forget the fact that you get their power from drinking a purple drink.
I'm not even touching on that. But anyway,
that purple drink.
And it's drank.
Oh,
it's drank. Get it right. Drank.
Oh, man.
But anyway, and my response was, that was the dream. Now the dream is apparently ethno states because no one wants to actually work the fuck together for a better tomorrow. And then people were trying to say that, oh, well, I was trying to quote Martin Luther King and shit like that. And it's like, okay. Whatever.
Wait, what?
Because I said that was the dream. You know, us working together, not seeing our skin deep features anymore.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, it was purple. Yeah, it was very purple. It was the
Yep.
most purple thing I've ever seen be purple.
Yeah. Okay. Really, guys, really. My mom's cat was in here already sleeping on the bed. Now my cat came in and woke his ass up. I was bored. Come on, play with me. Yeah. But no,
And you still got the fact that one of the most elite bodyguards was a literal spear chucker that considered guns to be primitive.
It's yeah. It just makes you wonder sometimes, dude. It just makes you wonder. And the fact that you have there's the fact that the conversation started in the first place. I see it. Organite. That's wrong. That is wrong. That is.
We are getting spicy in this house.
Right. Very much so. Like, oh my god! But
I mean, is he wrong though?
By the way these black identitarians today act, he's not wrong. That's exactly.
It's sort of like how modern day Christians would slaughter the hell out of Jesus. Modern day black activists would slaughter the hell out of MLK.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And what makes it worse, that drives me the most nuts, I guess you could say, is the fact that how do I explain this? Like, take the whole bit with Kanye West and going to the White House and talking to Trump, right?
Right.
All right. And then Don Lemon and his panel of black people and the terminology they used and saying this is what happens when those individuals don't read. Oh, yeah, they would.
Well, they probably wouldn't because early on, he was very competitive, and he didn't really start doing the whole peace route until he converted to Islam. And by then, they can't lynch him because he's a Muslim.
Well, yeah.
So, I mean, like, he's not covered in both eras of his philosophy.
But here's the thing: he was still killed by people within his own circle and it was because of the fact that he started to be like, "Hey, you know, we need to stop doing this. This anti white rhetoric is not going to help us. It's going to hurt us in the long run." Like he understood that,
yeah,
and that's why he was killed by members of his own circle. But see, and that's the thing, though. It's like, come on, you know, it's sad when we've reached a point where we have modern activists saying that, you know what I mean?
I want to be surprised if they were even trying to if they would even string up the guy who wanted the actual black military guy who wanted to round up all the black people and send them back to Africa where they all belong because America was antithetical to black people, apparently. But nobody ever really, went along with his philosophy, and I doubt even he really left to go back to Africa.
Right. But it just goes to show the state of our country, where we have individuals that are constantly preaching for things like the day you stop seeing me try my damnedest to push back against ethno states and things like that, I'm more than likely dead. I'm more than likely dead because I'm not stupid. But see, here's the thing: unlike certain individuals that I guess you could say went after folks like John Delarose and Vox Day and the way they did it, I would rather debate them. Challenge their ideas.
Try your best to show them why ethno-states are a bad idea.
Exactly.
Maybe have the slim possible chance to change their way of thinking. Sort of like that I can't remember his name, but he was a black guy. He was a drummer and a comedian. He actually hung out a lot with KKK members. He would actually go to their meetings. He would befriend KKK members and talk with them and give them courtesy and respect for their beliefs. And in return, a lot of sects actually like held him in high regard. They would actually invite him to this stuff and like showcase saying, hey, this guy is actually pretty cool. And at the end of it, a few members actually gave him their robe saying, here, I don't need this anymore. I'm out. I don't want to be a part of this anymore.
Exactly. How are it's why like the whole bit with the Tim Pool, Joe Rogan, Jack Dorsey, and Vijaya, whatever her last name was, that whole bit where they're like, yeah, well, you know, they're talking about how in the past the whole Westboro Baptist Church bit and the lady that was brought out of that through the people actually taking the time and debating her on Twitter and things like that, and then but yet Twitter has rules that are, let's be honest, are preventing the debates needed to have to get these people. And one thing, I think it was you last week when I mentioned how they are terrified of debate because they know they can't win, because they know their ideas will not handle scrutiny. And then sure enough, they're saying we need to stop trying to act like debating's the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Like the fact that I called it should just amazes me. It's like, oh, how can I swear I'm not like clairvoyant or anything. I should not have been able to call that one literally the way I did.
Yeah.
And it's like it really just goes to show that
for the whole we Black Americans should go back to our homeland and see Liberia. Liberia is actually a funny story because it actually sheds a lot of light on even like then President Abraham Lincoln, because even Abraham Lincoln wasn't a big lover of the blacks. He really was not. He did not make the Civil War about slavery until when it was about ready to be concluded for like a last recruitment drive, because by then a lot of people, including a lot of people in the South, were becoming very anti-slavery because, for one, some people considered it inhumane, but for the most part, a lot of people thought of it as not profitable anymore because at that point you had a bunch of you had the cotton gin, which were pretty much replacing slaves or cheap for being able to create cotton cheaply. But yeah, like even after all that was said and done, the federal government didn't do anything to accommodate the mass influx of then African civilians, because by then they stopped being slaves and became full-on citizens. But they weren't given anything. I think it took like half a year to a full year before they had churches and schools to actually try to educate the influx of black citizens. Instead,
that's without going into like the carpetbaggers and those from the north. Like a lot of people don't realize about the South. This is the reason why you had the Klansmen were actively doing everything they can, because mind you, Klansmen, the reason why they were the ghost imagery was supposed to represent the fallen
actually
soldiers.
Actually, I did a lot of research on the KKK because for a high school project for English, we had to read I can't remember what it's called now, but it's basically the narrative is that a guy is going to meet the last living person who was a slave in America and get her life story, and it's all basically a flashback of her retelling of the events. And for the project, we had to do a thing where we had to like research and do a report, a study report, and then a different subject study, and then do a narrative report. So basically, we had to do like two different reports in different styles about key things that went on during the time of colonial America coming out of slavery and into the Reconstruction era. For my informative report, I had to do the KKK, so I had to do some research on it. You want to know how the KKK started?
Hmm.
It was a LARP group.
Oh, what group?
A LARP, LARP, live action role play.
Oh
How
god.
it started was that you had a bunch of the aristocratic kids in the South who liked the idea of going into battle, living the soldier's experience, fighting for the cause, fighting for states' rights, and this, that, and the other, you know. But then, before they were able to enlist, the war ended. They knew that they were cheated out of what would make them men. So what they instead did was that they formed this group based in very medieval Christian religious iconography to sort of replace that. And of course, they've still only really recruited other, white aristocratic heirs to their cause. And for the most part, it was harmless. They would have their meetups, do their mock battles, do their mock trials, this, that, and the other. It wasn't until when the first black churches or the first black schools started to crop up that one of the sects burned down the church, and then their group started to get a lot of flack for doing that, rightfully so, rightfully so. And that's what they went down the whole, okay, now we're going to be what we're known for nowadays.
Gotcha.
Yeah, new Kotaku article, LARPers are white supremacists confirmed.
Oh my god, yeah. And what's sad, Gorgonite, is that would probably happen.
So how do you view the KKK now that I told you how they started?
I'm just like, you know what? I need more coffee because the shit's getting thick. The shit's getting thick. I'll be right back. Have the floor, sir.
Let's say before you do that, it is actually getting close to time where I will actually have to leave to do my, ironically enough, to do my role play game, to do my tabletop role playing game.
Oh, all right. Well, I was planning on doing a gaming stream here soon. Just pick something random.
Okay, so you're just going to keep this going on, or you're going to end this into a different stream?
I'm going to end this and do a different stream.
Okay. Well, we have still managed to talk a lot. Yeah, exactly, Lamar. The KKK is weird. Very weird.
Yes. You know what? Give me, while you're here, before I run off and get coffee and everything, I'll just take full advantage of this. And while we're still talking, I will create a new event and get it set up for...
So Mom also just get prepared for that?
Yeah, it's one of those, resume hangouts in there. I want to add to it. New live event. There it is. This way, everyone watching, I can just drop the link for it in chat.
And they can just wait for that to drop when you get your coffee.
Exactly.
They're allowed to get their own snack and drinks, maybe take a piss, and you'll be up and running by the time they get back.
Yep. And possibly might get a couple more people in. Because I try to keep this mainly us, and unless it's someone like I was half tempted, oddly enough, because I mentioned him earlier, to see if John De La Rose wanted to join. I
would have loved to be able to talk to John De La Rose, man. I would have loved to be able to talk to him. That'd be great.
Right? And
I like John De La Rose. He's a nice guy. He does good work.
Oh yeah, I was actually in the stream with him last night.
And I also love the fact that he's one of the few people that actually puts you know who on a full blast when no one else wants to do it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ye who shall not be named.
But if we want to go full woke on this, if we want to, do the part, I am a liberal, so might as well, join in on the fads.
Fuck that. And may I say, as I've stated before, ye who shall not be named, I really, for the most part, I think he's got a massive ego. I think he's a bit of an idiot, but he's a very talented artist.
and he should really consider releasing that comic before doing yet another fundraiser. That'd be kind of a good idea.
Yeah, not instead of, oh, well, this is my 4th variant cover wherein I haven't even given people the original book.
I mean, there's already people complaining about waiting almost a whole year and no comic.
Yeah, he remember the dude. I think it was Rick something or other. He blocked him. Just for asking about it.
Yeah,
Just for asking about it.
yeah, it's just.
Sad, really?
I mean, I had high hopes for the guy. He was a former pro coming into the indie scene. Could have had a lot of stuff going on, but he just failed at every opportunity.
He just turned.
It's very sad.
Yes, Humble Marty. He is Voldemort, except not as cool. And
I think I would have actually liked to hang out with Voldemort.
And not me.
He seemed like he would have actually had some interesting stories to tell. And plus, he has the snick.
The snick?
I cannot fault a man with taste, and there is nothing but taste with that snick.
I'm not sure which one I'm going to play, but I am. It has been decided. Saints Row.
Saints Row. You seem to go into Saints Row or Batman. You have any plans for any other games?
Well, it's one of those I've been kind of trying to get through. Like, for instance, 3. All right, I'm trying to get all the various achievements for 3 again.
Right.
Because I got them on my 360. The whole game is complete on my 360 list. Well, it was. But Danger Noodle.
Yes, he has the best Danger Noodle.
Or a Nope Rope.
Best Nope Rope, best Danger Noodle. I must poop the snoot.
Yes, because apparently I'm not it's on TikTok way too much. And I will set this for 10 p.m. I think that gives everyone a good about 30 minutes to stretch your legs, do what you got to do, get you something to grub on, and then we shall, you know what I mean, get to it. I'm even, it also gave me, I'm even, since I haven't completed it, I'm even thinking about playing Gat Out of Hell and like finally completing that game because I have yet to do.
The day I actually have a D&D going on. I love Gat Out of Hell. It's a great DLC.
Well, the thing is, they released it as a standalone DLC.
Friggin' Shakespeare being a nightclub owner in hell.
Oh snap! I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Well, not that. Sorry, AFF had an update.
Okay.
Angels Fall First. It's like this picture Star Wars Battlefront 2, legit the OG Battlefront 2.
Classic. I still play the classic.
Yes, but OG Battlefront 2 with basically modern graphics, and it's not a Star Wars franchise. I mean, and
the enemy has captured a command point.
Dude, there's a lot of things you can do. Like I'm even just to try to, get more people interested in this game. Okay, there we go. Doop doop doop. Copy. Angels Fall First in chat. Yeah. I mean, yeah, but it's pretty legit. I've had it for a few years now, and every so often I'll come back to it and everything, spend some time on it. But up until recently, though, there hasn't been a lot of people online, and that's been the problem.
Right.
But now there are people online.
Ooh, this was good.
You're seeing it?
Oh my god, there's even actually legit good vehicle stuff.
I told you. Now you see. You are enlightened to the world of Angels Fall First.
Oh my god, this motherfucker just looks like he's wearing Terminator armor. Bring me back to that majestic picture. Oh my god, that looks so good. That is literally just Terminator armor. They're not even hiding it.
I do. It's
That's
badass.
so good.
Why don't you think
Oh
it's on
my,
my computer? Why don't you think I
oh
was like,
my
ooh?
God, $18. That's $18 I can't spend. Fuck me.
But you want it.
I
You want
want
it.
it though. I
Wait
want
till
it.
the Steam sale. Wait till the Steam sale and get it when it's like $4 or $5.
Yeah, that's
It's worth
probably what I'm gonna do.
it.
That's probably what
It's
I'm
worth
gonna do.
it. It is extremely worth it.
Oh my
But
God.
all right. But anyway, I'll let you give your closing pitch.
Yeah, after I recover from that orgasm that was Terminator armor. That was so good. Okay. Ooh, okay. So I am Nicholas Nuckhan, Desquill. I'm oh boy, I am so out of my element here now. Ooh. Hey. Nicholas Nuckhan, Desquill. I do an indie tabletop showcase show every month where I also do interviews of their creators. I've been having a lot of technical issues lately as well as school stuff, so I am actually very much a month late for my last video, but I should be having it up by this week and in time for the 23rd. Well, I will be doing an interview with the very successful Swordsfall creators. You can go to Dustquill Team here on YouTube to watch that. I will also be going onto BitChute under the same name and just re-upload my YouTube videos up there every month. So there's a bit of a delay cycle there. You can find me on my Patreon with Duskglow, where you can donate to me and all that stuff. And the same thing, the same extension can be put to Subscribe Star to get me there, or you can donate directly to my PayPal. I do writing commissions, whether they be for short stories, poetry, character backgrounds, or even doing edits or even script work for any projects you would like me to be a part of. And you can find me on Twitter at Duskwill_team. You will find me here every week for ANAOT Politics.
Yes, because we got to do our politics, our weekly politics, no less. Because that's how we roll. That's how we roll. But all right, and as always, I'm your host, the one and only Bob Jones. You can find me on Twitter at Brainiac420. You can find me on Mindscab, TikTok, and Instagram at Bob Jones Comic Ward. And you can find me on BitChute as Bob Jones. All right. So for those who are going to be there for the gaming stream, I shall see you in about 30. Everyone else, you have a good night, folks.
Have a beautiful day.